Sister, your problem is not meeting good men. That's not the problem. We're going to talk about the problem later in this presentation, but today I want to get into the rules when meeting good men. There are rules that you must adhere to when you meet a good man. I know there are plenty of good men out there that you come in contact with, but there are rules when trying to interact with good men, and we're going to get into that in a minute, but I want you to understand so that we can be on the same page about what makes a good man a good husband. What makes a good man a good husband is his tremendous respect for women. And so you're looking to meet a man who not only has a tremendous amount of respect for women, but he also carries a great deal of respect for you. Sister, inherently, a good man is looking to meet a wife that would be met with a high approval rate from the women that he has the most respect for, be it his mother, be it his grandmother, whether or not they are even still around. He's looking for a wife that they would approve of. Now, his test for you, this good man has a test for you, and his test is going to help him determine what amount of respect do you hold for yourself. Self-respect. And one way he tries to evaluate your degree of self-respect is based on a few things, the obvious things. How you behave is probably on the top of that list. It's in no particular order. How you express yourself with spoken language and choice of words, be it texting or some other way of communication. Is your daily conversation laden with profanity and obscenities? These are things that good men look at very closely. He is going to pay attention to your style of dress, dear sister. I know fashion has changed you. The fashion industry has taken a nosedive to where you have been deceived into thinking that the more revealing or the more risque you dress, the more appealing you are to men, and that's true. But we're talking about the rules when meeting a good man. A good man is looking for a woman who is a reflection of class and dignity, self-respect, and virtue. And so he tests you by attempting to seduce you, sister. This is the wife test. He is going to try to coerce you. He's a good man, but he is going to try to see if he can get you to undress for him in a reasonable amount of time without any commitment from you. He, in a nutshell, sister, is trying to see if you are okay with sex and no strings attached. If you give in too soon, you would have dismantled every principle that he wants his wife to stand on, and that's why I call it the wife test. Welcome to #relationships, where we're going to discuss rules when meeting a good man. Sister, society has deceived you by making you think that you are weak if you tell him that you have fallen in love with him before he tells you that he has fallen in love with you. You have adopted the notion that I don't want to say it first because you think it makes you look weak. Well, let me say it this way, sister. How can you be more apprehensive, more ashamed, more afraid to say I love you, and not infinitely more afraid to undress in front of this good man? This is called, again, sister, the wife test. He's testing your virtue against his own ability to get you in bed without a real commitment. If you give in too soon, sister, you fail his test, just like you test us. Yes, women, it's not a secret that You guys have many more complex ways of testing us, testing men. You know which buttons to push. You know how to prod and lure and, let me say, challenge me, if you will, to pass these multiple tests, layers of tests. And as I pass the test, you become more endeared to me. You begin to let your guards down because you know that I have what it takes to protect your heart, my dear sister. So I tell men, if you have found a good woman, this is what I say to the brothers. Brothers, if you have been given the blessing of a good woman, then your instructions are to marry her, and I'll tell you why. And I say marry her in a timely manner, and this is why, because when you meet a good woman, when you meet a woman of virtue, if you see her as God's gift to you, your instructions are to marry her in a timely manner, because when she's a good woman, there's a time sensitivity element to your courtship. In other words, if you leave her unproposed to for too long, that is considered an insult to her, my dear brother. The point is this: when it's right, it does not take too long. And if it ain't right, it don't take 6, 7, and 8 years to know that it ain't right, sister. You have to get to the point to where you're not asking the question, what is he like in the bedroom? Your question should be, what is he like after you spend the night with him? Bottom line, sister, is this: if you are in love with a good man, you need to make it known. Make it known. And if you are not in love with him, or if he is not in love with you, as a rule, you keep your clothes on. And if you think it's inappropriate to tell him that you love him, then sister, surely it should be equally as inappropriate for you to get undressed in front of him. These are the rules. And for the record, sister, your opinion, what you think and how you feel, does not alter or change these rules. We're talking about rules when meeting a good man. Your problem is not finding or meeting a good man. Your problem is not even with relationships, sister. Your problem is with the rules. Now, we're going to have to get into part 2 of rules when meeting a good man. But guys, you have to remember, I'm only here to help, because I want for you what I want for myself. I want you guys to be happy. I want you to be healthy. I want you to live a life of longevity and one of fulfillment. But above and beyond all these things combined, I wish upon you many, many blessings. I am looking forward to your response. I hope this information has been in the least bit helpful. I've certainly enjoyed sharing it with you. And as always, my name is Jay Jackson.